Good morning, History 101 week. Today is Wednesday, the 8th of March, and I wanted to give you a bit of feedback about your muddiest points. There was some good stuff in your work this week, and I picked out one that represented questions that a lot of you had, and I'll just comment briefly on it and hopefully help to clear it up a bit. Somebody asked or said, the muddiest point in the assigned reading, I was a little back and forth on whether the taxation, the British taxation, was unjust or just. I know this may be a personal opinion, but I see both sides and could argue for both. So that was making me confused as to what the quote-unquote right answer was. Now, this is an excellent question, and in fact, historians have debated this for the last couple of hundred years, right? And that's why I asked the question, because there is no easy answer. In fact, I would argue there is no quote-unquote right answer. What's important is that I can see you've done the reading and thought about this question and attempted, best you can, to grapple with it. There is no right answer. But we can look at the different perspectives, right? From the British perspective, well, of course the taxes were just, because from the British perspective, right, they protected the colonies. The British Navy protected American trade with the West Indies, which was incredibly valuable. The British Army, which was very expensive, protected Americans from Roman Catholic French Canada. And the empire also funded the colonial legal system, which allowed American commerce to function effectively. So from the British point of view, they're giving to the colonies, and they're not getting anything in return as far as taxes. And so the British point of view is, wait a second, look, Americans love to claim how they are full citizens of the British Empire, that they are subjects of the British Crown, and therefore they deserve all the rights accruing to a subject of Great Britain, even though they live in America. But, the British would say, at the same time, Americans don't want any of the responsibilities that come with being a British subject, right? They want all the good stuff, and they don't want to deal with any of the bad things, right? Like taxes. Like, if you're truly a British citizen, why don't you pay British taxes like everybody back at home? From the American point of view, obviously, it was quite different. And I should clarify that and say not all Americans felt like this. Not all Americans were revolutionaries or tax resistors. But those who were looked at it quite differently. Of course, they thought the taxes were unjust because they said it is the fundamental right of all freeborn Englishmen to only be taxed by their representatives, people that they have elected into office. And because we have no representatives in Parliament, you cannot tax us, period, right? If you attempt to tax us, you are violating our rights. You are treating us like slaves, which, that makes sense. As Americans, that's what we've grown up with. So you can see the two sides to this question. The one twist that I would add to this, and you should be aware of if you weren't already, right? The American argument is, well, we have no representatives in Parliament, therefore you cannot tax us. No taxation without representation. Everybody knows that. The twist is that Americans did not want representation in Parliament, right? So again, you get to have the best of both worlds. You can claim that it's unconstitutional to tax you because you have no representation, but then at the same time you say, and by the way, we don't want to be represented. Right? Yeah.